In tonight's Rebound Detroit, we are taking a look at renters' rights.
Late last week, Governor Whitmer extended the moratorium on evictions until June 12th. But what other protections are in place?
7 Action News reporter Amira David explored that earlier today during a Facebook Live with 2 attorneys specializing in housing rights.
She joins us now with more on what you need to know. Amira?
That's right, Carol and Dave, we have to note that just because there is a moratorium on evictions doesn't mean your rent still isn't owed. But paying rent, as we know, is difficult for many right now, especially for those who are unemployed. I spoke to one unemployed Shelby Township woman who says she already got a notice that she should pay up or get out.
That fear of panic, what am I going to do?
Just 7 days after Nicole's very first missed rent payment, this notice arrived to her apartment with these unnerving directions. You must do one of the following within 7 days. A, pay the rent owed, or B, move out or vacate the premises. Otherwise, it said, she'd face eviction.
Very frustrating, to the point where you just feel helpless at this point. It's out of your control.
That's because Nicole's problem is that the money she needs to clear her debt is nearly 8 weeks of tied up unemployment benefits.
So I'm not receiving anything at all. I have no income because I'm pending on this unemployment. They owe me $6,700.
It's a problem thousands of renters across Metro Detroit are now facing. And if that includes you, Attorney Joe McGuire wants you to know you're protected.
So if your landlord is sending you legal notices saying you have to pay me this much in rent or I'm going to take you to court and evict you, those have no legal effect right now.
Meantime, other Metro Detroiters telling us they're fielding similar pressure.
My concern is having my landlord keep bringing up to me that if he doesn't have the money to pay the mortgage, then it goes into foreclosure and then I'll have to move eventually.
For those renting actual homes, the CARES Act may offer you some protection because it shields any federally insured mortgage holder from foreclosure.
If you're even renting from a landlord who has a federally insured mortgage, you're covered by the law as well, and you're protected from evictions for non-payment of rent through July 25th.
As for late fees, well, those can be charged, but they have to be reasonable. Between $25 and $50 is fair game, but
if your landlord is charging you per day for late fees and it grows to be over $100, that's really almost certainly not going to be viewed as a reasonable late fee by a judge.
Above all, the smartest thing to do if you can't afford your rent is to talk to your landlord.
Maybe try to set up some kind of payment plan, or maybe you can't pay the full amount on the first of the month, but you can pay partial. You always want to at least try that as opposed to winding up, in eviction court.
So here's the rebound rundown. Evictions or notices threatening eviction are illegal under the governor's current executive order. Tenants of landlords with federally backed mortgages are protected until July through the CARES Act. If you can't afford your rent, ask your landlord to consider a workable temporary solution. Also, it is illegal for landlords and property managers to forcibly remove tenants. Landlords can face heavy fines for trying to push tenants out the door and doing things like shutting off utilities and changing locks. So keep that in mind. Carolyn?
Yeah, so many people need that information too right now, Amira. Now, the young woman in your story said she could not pay rent because her funds were tied up in unemployment. Has she found any relief with this?
In the case of Nicole, her benefits were held up on a technical issue, and we were luckily able to help her get that fixed. She's expecting payment in a few days. I also want to add that if you have a question or a great comeback story that you think we should know about, we want to hear from you, the viewer. So make sure to email us. Email us at rebounddetroit@wxyz.com.
Wow, such good news for Nicole. Amira, thank you. Great job. All right, talk to you later.